It's Howard Barnes here, a very fast home seller, and this is a lead into a little video that I did to explain our online marketing system and how we sell homes in 14 days. And the owner of the home or the seller of the property does not have to pay any real estate commission if they're not interested in doing that. So again, here's the explanation. Sell your home in 14 days, don't pay any real estate commission, and just reach out to me after if you have any questions. It'd be my pleasure to give you further information. But I think this will be pretty much self-explanatory, and you'll understand the program after you watch the video. Okay, this is just kind of an overview of our online sales program because I have people coming up to me all the time and saying, hey, how can you sell my home in 14 days and how can I sell it not paying any commission? It just doesn't make any sense. And so what we're doing here is giving you a brief overview so that you understand what's going on. Okay, so there's basically three ways you can sell your property. Way number one is a cash sale. And the cash sale people are people that are out there wandering around and they've got lots of cash. They could be a hedge fund or just a wealthy investor. They're looking to buy somebody's home for less than it's worth. So if you've got a $500,000 home, maybe they offer you $400,000, can close in 5 days or whatever the deal is. Okay, a regular traditional real estate sale, you put it on the market for what it's worth, or what most people do is most realtors do is they put it on the market for more than it's worth, and that's how they get you to list it with them. And then there's a come to Jesus meeting and say, hey, it's just not worth what we told you it was, so we got to reduce the price and get on with selling it. And by that time, you don't have any choice because you're running out of time. Or there's our online auction method. And what we do here is we just drive tons and tons of buyers to your property, allow them to bid on the property. They can all see each other's bid, and that just drives the price of the property up. And you, as the seller, will wind up with more money in your pocket at the end of the transaction. Okay, so let's start talking about it here. So these are companies that all use an online auction to sell their real estate that they control. Okay, it's the IRS, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, the VA, Bank of America, Chase, Citi. None of these people use traditional real estate methods to sell real estate. What they do is they use an online auction method, which they know will sell the property fastest, and they will put the most money in their pocket. Okay, three strategies for pricing. One, you can price it high. It takes forever to sell. You can't use the auction or online method with that because there's no reason for people to look at it. The other way is to price it at fair market value, and that's okay, except what happens is that a lot of realtors will say, well, we can try it at this price. If it doesn't sell, we can reduce it. So maybe you lose 30, 60, 90 days at a price that's too high. And then when you reduce the price to be able to sell it, what happens? Maybe the market has changed. And so it just winds up costing you money for sure. It costs you time. The other strategy is our online marketing platform, where we take the properties, we put them on the market for less than the market value of the property to drive hundreds and hundreds of buyers to the property. They'll want to hear about it, they'll want to see it, and we sell a lot of these properties to people from out of state. So here's a pricing pyramid. Okay, if you were to price your property at 15% below market value, 90% of the buyers are going to know that your property is available for sale. If you price it at 15% above the market value, only 10% of buyers would even be interested in even looking at it. And so our strategy is price it really, really competitively, drive the buyers, and they will actually drive the price up for you with the online bidding system. So as an example, here we've got two homes. One is worth 300,000, or excuse me, one is asking 300,000, one is asking 282,000. Which price will attract more buyers? Well, it's obvious the one that's priced at $282,000 will attract more buyers. And why is that? Well, if a person can't pay 300, they're not going to look at the property. But if they can pay 282, they'll look at it. If they can pay 295, they won't look at the $300,000 property, but they will at a 282 price. So you're going to get more buyers. So how that transaction would net out on a traditional listing, say $300,000 sale price, or excuse me, list price, 6% commission, 3% closing costs, seller nets $279, buyer pays $300. On our auction strategy, let's say we list it, it goes out at $282, okay? The buyer pays 6% buyer premium, which is what they have to pay to be able to buy the property. Their closing costs are approximately $3,000. The seller is going to net more selling this way and the buyer is going to pay $298,920, which is a little less money. So more money for the seller, a little less money on purchase price for the buyer. Let's look at the magic of auctions. So let's say that we had an auction strategy here for that $300,000 home. Okay, the buyer is going to pay 6% buyer's premium. The winning bid, so he buys it for $290. Closing costs are $3,074. The seller is going to net $286,926. And that's going to be $7,000 or $8,000 more than on a traditional listing. And the buyer is going to pay a little bit more for the property. They're going to pay $307,400 because they're paying the buyer's premium. And so what the magic of the auction does is it just puts more money in the seller's pocket. The benefits of selling your home using an auction. You enjoy a simple sales process that requires no negotiating on your end. The buyer pays most or all of the real estate commissions. The auction deadline creates buyer urgency. The typical time for an auction sale is 14 to 30 days or less, which eliminates carrying costs. You set the terms and day of your auction so that you can plan your life accordingly. The sale is not contingent on inspections and appraisals. The competitive bidding process helps you receive the true market value for your house. Experienced professionals handle the marketing, promotion, paperwork, and the auction event, and that's us. The benefits to the buyer. Complete control over buying the home they want. It eliminates multiple blind offer situations. Complete price transparency. And buyers like to know this because if they make an offer, they want to know what everybody else is offering so that they could offer more if they really want the home. The ability to preview the house before bidding. There's no hidden surprises. Reduced buyer premium if the buyer does not have an agent. Normal contract and closing process, and traditional financing is accepted. This is a gentleman by the name of Kamal, and Kamal wanted to buy a home. Okay, he liked the home, saw a home he liked it, he liked the yard, he made an offer, but his concern in life is he didn't want to pay too much. So what happens is he made an offer and never heard back from the listing realtor. And after a few weeks, he checked the public records and he found out that the house was sold and it was sold for way less than what he was willing to pay. If he'd have known what the bids were, he would have been able to up his bid, which would have meant that the seller would have had more money and Kamal would have had the home that he really wanted. Again, our pricing pyramid. By pricing it below market value, you get the most exposure, you drive the most buyers. And what that does is you might have investors that might show up to buy it because of the price. And also you have people that show up or have a look at it. Maybe they can't buy it, but they know people that can, as opposed to pricing it way over value. Nobody looks at it. So this is a real strategy in doing this online auction program is we have to price it so we get hundreds and hundreds of people looking at the property. Okay, the value of a property is determined by what a buyer is willing to pay and a seller is willing to accept. Okay, and that's the whole deal. So in a seller's market, if you price your property high, there's no problem. Eventually the market will catch up to it. But what happens is normally you put your property on the market because you need the money to do something, or you're moving, you've got a new job, a different area. So you have to get the property sold and move on. You don't have time to wait. And one of the problems with a lot of real estate agents is that they always tell you the house is worth more than it is to get the listing. And then you have a come to Jesus meeting and say, hey, look, I guess we were wrong on the value. And this is after 60, 90 days of being for sale. Then you have to put it back to the price that it should be at in the beginning so that you can get the property sold. So possibly not a good strategy. In a buyer's market, a seller can be caught by falling home values. So you price it high, the market falls, and each day you're putting less money in your jeans because the spread between what you can sell it for and what the value is, or excuse me, what you want and what the value is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So if you would have put it on the market at the right price to begin with, you would have sold it and you would have maximized the money that is in your pocket. So pricing your home right the first time is key. And with our online marketing program, we need to price it aggressively so that we can fill the home up with buyers and have hundreds and hundreds of people looking at the property, which drives the price and allows you to maximize the most money that you're going to put in your jeans at the end of the transaction. So the first couple weeks on the market are critical. Okay, that's when you get the most action on your property. And what happens is there's people out there looking already. If you want to tag one of those people, you get a quick sale. If you don't tag one of those people, then what happens is you have to wait till somebody else decides they want to buy a piece of real estate. By pricing your home very aggressively to begin with, what happens is that people who maybe weren't thinking about buying right now start thinking they're going to buy right now because they saw the home, they saw the price, and they think there's value there, so they're going to have a look. So they will change their time frame to work with you. So how does the online sale program work? Okay, the property is listed for sale and it's submitted to the MLS. In Southern California or the greater Los Angeles, Orange County area, it's CRMLS. The marketing is done to make potential buyers and realtors aware that the property is for sale. We need one open house weekend. The property will be shown by appointment on the Saturday and Sunday. No other showings are needed. Bidding will be opened on Sunday after the end of the second open house period. Only buyers who have been pre-approved by our certified online sales lenders will be allowed to bid. So anybody bidding has the money, they can buy it. The bidding will close at 8 p.m. on the Thursday after the last open house. The sellers will review the bids, accept or counter the bid that works best for them. Again, you're not tied to an offer. All buyers agree that you can accept their offer, you can reject their offer, or you can counter their offer. The whole strategy here is to have hundreds and hundreds of people looking at your property, and what happens is there's always 10 or 15 that think it's a pretty good deal for them, and they're going to attempt to buy your property, and they'll start bidding on it. Okay, the protection for you, the seller, each online bidder agrees. The seller can accept the offer, the seller can reject the offer, or the seller can counter the offer, okay? And that's the protection that you have as the seller, okay? And so you're not tied into selling your home cheap. Lots of sellers think, well, if I get an offer, I got to take it, and it might not be what I need or what I think the house is worth. And should that happen, again, you can accept, you can reject, you can counter the offer. We don't have to take it. but your home will be sold in 14 days. Yeah, that's the proof is in the result. Okay, so that was a brief overview of how our 14-day home sale works. And so you understand that it's an online bidding system and it is just so effective. And so anyway, just keep this in mind. If you're going to list your home for sale, normally a realtor is going to want to tie up your property for 90 to 180 days. They say they need to list it that long, and that's just basically to get you to tie up the property. Because they're going to say, well, you know, we have to get our advertising working, we have to do this, we have to that, we have to do something else, so we have to tie up your property. Well, hey, I need 14 days. And if what I'm saying isn't true and doesn't happen, then you can just go ahead and tie up your property for 90 or 180 days with another real estate broker, and good for you. Okay, but if you want to sell your home, it's just 14 days. It'll be sold, and that's all. That's the risk you have. The risk you have is 14 days of being off the market in a conventional real estate transaction. So anyway, think about it. Let me know.